No, I accidentally pressed the power button on the computer. I was turning the computer trying to get it so that my glasses wouldn't glare off the ring light, and I pressed the button. It was right there. I forgot it was there.
Welcome back to BYO Beats Podcast, your beer and music podcast. This is 60 Minutes with the Boys because we still don't have a better name for this episode type. It's our monthly update.
I like it. I like the thing. 60 Minutes with the Boys. We're the boys.
We are.
Janelle
and I were riffing.
Beer bros.
Janelle and I were riffing about Power Hour being involved somehow. But Power Hour, we couldn't land on anything good either. So, as always, if you have any...
We could just call it that, though.
Power Hour? Maybe. We'll think on it. And as always, if you guys have any suggestions, best way to reach us with those would be our email, byobeats.business@gmail.com, or hit us up on the socials at byobeats_podcast on most, if not all, of the things.
Yes, sir. All right, beer listeners and song drinkers, we don't know what's been going on. The world's kind of falling apart a little bit, but we're going to look on the better side of that world that we do have to live in some way, and at some point. So, I don't know. I'm having a good time. Been going on a few dates lately that's been going well, so
awesome.
That's
great
cool
to hear.
Yeah. I'll give you more details for you, sir, later.
Offline. Yeah.
But we'll just say that it's going well, and I'm happy about it.
Good.
Yeah.
Sports are a thing. Michigan State
thing.
is gonna be 5-6 right now.
Yep.
We might be able to go. We might be able to do it.
Yep, because Rutgers almost beat Illinois this past week.
Yes.
And I got scared when I saw that. But then Illinois still beat them, so that makes me have like a shade of hope that I was right at 6-6 in September.
That's true.
I said 6-6.
That's true. I was more optimistic, I do believe. I think I was looking 7-5.
You saw the potential of Aiden Childs, and you were hoping he would get a lot better.
Well, and here I'll say this.
He has not.
Okay, I think Aiden has actually improved a ton over this year. Like, if you look at some of the first few games, he was not making good decisions under pressure. No. But even against, I didn't end up. I was not able to watch much of the second half of Purdue. I really only watched the first half.
Yeah, I kind of got bored too.
I ended up doing something else. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I think it was the week before we lost pretty bad, but we played a decent team.
No,
it was the Illinois game, actually.
Yeah, it was Illinois. Yeah.
I thought he played a really good game. I thought most of our team played a pretty good game. It was just they were better.
Yeah.
And I think down the stretch we just didn't want it as much as Illinois wanted it. And I do think they have a more experienced squad. But because if you look at our offense, our offense is mostly underclassmen.
Yep. Well, but when did we hire the new coach again?
This year?
Over the summer.
Summer.
It was over the summer. That's so little time.
It might have been spring. It might have been spring.
Okay. So he did have them for spring, I guess. But that's still, I don't know. Relocating a team and also
you gotta get your own philosophy in there. You gotta get your own guys, your own recruiting, and I don't know. Yep. College football has changed so much in the past even 3 years. I feel like it's a completely different sport now versus when we were in school.
Yeah, it was more bully ball when we were in school, and now it's just who can be the best NFL team that's not in the NFL.
Exactly.
And there were a few teams that verged on that when we were in school. Alabama was pretty much that team, and Georgia was still upcoming, not as
Yeah.
good as they have been in the past years. But
I think the closest thing we'll ever see to an NFL caliber college team was that one LSU team with Joe Burrow.
that's
I
yeah,
think
for sure.
all I think I saw somewhere that all 22 of their starters got drafted into the NFL.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was maybe it wasn't that, but it was something ridiculous like that.
Okay. Hmm.
But yeah, that was what was that 2019?
That sounds right.
That was
Yeah.
insane. Maybe it was even before that. I don't know, but
But yeah, let's go to the Lions though, because they are
oh yeah.
10-1 for the first time, maybe ever. I don't know. If it's not ever, then it's like before 1950. So, more than due for that.
Definitely in the
Uh,
modern era, I think.
yeah, but like using that as like the example of a team that has been able to build themselves up to something.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan State is in the first year of what they're trying to build something with that new coach.
Yeah.
Like it's
It's
not going to
gonna
happen.
it's gonna take time.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're
even
almost close to the day.
look at Alabama this year.
Yeah, they kind of
Alabama first year with their new
snoozers.
coach, and they've lost to two unranked teams.
Yeah,
Nick Saban never lost. He only lost to one unranked team his entire time at Alabama.
that's that tracks. Yeah, he
And
was that good there.
yeah, and I mean, you could look at this in one of two ways. One being, oh, this new guy, what is it? I think it's Calvin DeBoer or something like that. Oh, this new guy just isn't like cut from the same cloth as Saban. He'll never be as good. He's squandering a legacy. You can look at it that way, or you can look at it as, wow, college football, the parity is getting insane.
Yeah,
I mean, because
yeah,
you look at it was a Vanderbilt and Oklahoma, and those
yeah,
were both 500 teams that they lost to. So I don't know. Maybe it's and I mean look at Indiana this year too, or should I say James Madison 2.0? Because let's be honest, that's what it is.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
So the Indiana's new coach came from James Madison, as well
Okay,
as like any important player, all
right.
transferred from James Madison.
So similar to, uh,
Kind of similar to us with Oregon State,
yeah.
right? Yeah,
What's the coach's name? It's not John Smith, is it?
it's Jonathan Smith.
Jonathan Smith. Okay,
Yeah,
that's weird. Isn't that the name of the person that was the guy from Pocahontas?
it might have been. John Smith is like the stereotypical American man.
That's true. I thought that was John Doe, or is that just a cop term?
John Doe is like an unidentified male.
Oh, is there a reason why?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I had no idea. I think cop show. I don't know. I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah,
Dude, I caught myself. Not to change the subject necessarily,
all
but
good.
it's a silly thing that happened yesterday. I've been watching House. I think I said that in a previous
Yeah.
60 minutes, and there's an episode where he like sees a kid have myoclonic jerk, which is like your leg kicks, and it's your body, it's your mind telling you, hey, don't fall asleep, and
Mm.
makes your leg kick and it keeps you awake. And he was like, "Are you tired?" The kid's like, "No." He's like, "Come with me." He's like, he had a myoclonic jerk without actually being tired, and I'm just like, okay. I caught myself having one of those, but I was falling asleep. So
Oh, okay.
it was all good. My brain doing the right things. But uh, yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely noticed that. I never knew there was like a term for that. Like when you're falling asleep and you like twitch yourself awake.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know. You learn some stuff on that show, but you also learn uh, incorrect things, like how far the boundaries of like medicine can actually go, and
Yeah.
what's actually kosher in a hospital does not is not what happens on that show
No.
ever. Like, almost every episode, everyone's like, House, you can't do that, and he's just like, haha, I'm gonna do it anyway, and then he's not arrested at the end of the episode. That doesn't make any sense.
Can you hear
They're just like,
Scooby crying?
no.
Okay. He just let a big wail. I'm trying to see if
Oh.
there's a dog outside that he's looking at. He should be fine, but I mean, he's not here next to me, so it can't be that urgent. But yeah, my favorite thing about House, I've never actually watched it, but there's a meme that I've seen like a couple variations of where it's like, you know, it'll be like a picture from the show. It'll be like, no one knows what's wrong with this kid. And then House takes one look at him. He's like, did you check for toothpicks in his ass? And
Yeah,
then they're like, oh, there were toothpicks there.
right. Oh,
All right. I've been watching Psych again.
Psych. Okay, that's similar to like Lie to Me, right?
Maybe. I've never seen Lie to Me. They joke that it's the same thing as, oh, crap. What's the name of that?
Law and Order SVU.
No, it's like a show.
Criminal Minds.
No.
Cold Case Files.
No, it's not that serious. It's like a comedy.
Cops. Okay.
It's like a detective comedy. The premise is no, not Monk. Although Monk is the one where it's the guy who like joins the FBI, right?
I have no idea. I just know that he is.
Or is that My Name Is Earl?
God, I hope not.
I don't know. I've never seen that one either.
That one is, I think, I don't know, maybe one of the dumber shows out there.
I've never seen it. I couldn't tell. I don't even know what it's about.
Oh, his name is Earl.
Oh,
How many Earls do you know that you respect?
I don't think I know any.
Oh, you know what? If I think about it, I don't know if I do either.
But yeah, Psych is.
No, a Durrell. Well, no, he says his name is Durrell. His name is Daryl.
Oh, he pronounces it Durrell.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope he's doing okay. I don't know if he's even alive still. He was kind of old. But anyway, so My Name is Earl could be about police of some sort or FBI.
Yeah, there's one of those shows where it's like someone accidentally gets into the, into like the FBI or something.
Accidentally. That's crazy. Get Smart?
No.
No? I love that movie. I know it was a show beforehand, but I like the movie. Just because Steve Carell is freaking goated with the sauce.
The Mentalist.
Oh, okay.
It's similar to The Mentalist.
Yeah, that's upsetting because I've definitely heard of that show too.
Yeah, but anyway, the premise of Psych is that it's like a comedy, so it's a detective comedy where the main character is like hyper observant.
Right. Okay.
But he plays it off as if he's psychic, so that he
I
can
don't
like
that.
it's done in a quite over the top and hilarious way.
Okay, well that's
But the
that's
point
Psych
is,
or the Mentalist, or I guess both.
we're Psych. I've never actually seen The Mentalist. I think The
Okay.
Mentalist is like a serious show.
Gotcha. All right.
But yeah, it's really funny. I enjoy it a lot.
Nice.
What else? What else have I
I'm
been
trying to
watching?
think of what else. I've been watching Smosh too much still. It's kind of getting not great, but I still watch it. Like, I don't know. They play games that I'm not interested in sometimes, and I mean that's okay. Like I'm sure some people are.
Yeah.
What else? I'm very obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy's and the game specifically. I haven't really gotten to the lore because that seems like a big commitment. And
There's like probably you know the YouTube channel Game Theory,
yeah,
Matt Pat. There's probably like an hour and a half worth of videos that he's made that you could probably just watch front to back, and then it explains everything.
yeah. I'll bet you it's more than that though, time wise, just because like there were things with Matt Pat and Scott Cawthon, who made the games.
Mhm.
Like they were like battling or something to see who could create the best lore.
Oh, really?
Uh,
I was not even
I
aware of
guess.
this.
So yeah, like MatPat was trying to do the thing where you predict what's going to happen next,
Mm.
and no one knows if it was correct or not. But like sometimes Scott would be like, "Actually, that's exactly what happened next," or he'll be like, "No, no, no, that's not it."
But it won't like say what it was.
Well, until he decides he's going to release the next game, and that's what
Oh, true.
information you get.
True.
So yeah, it was a question of whether Scott had just say, "Oh, I'm gonna cop this theory, make it real."
Yeah, that's. I tried making a video game once.
Okay, oh, I'm so happy you said that. I have so many questions.
Yeah, go for it.
How do you do it? Because like I don't know how animation really works in the first place, but
Well, I'll tell you, I did not nearly even get that far.
Oh, okay, yeah. Where do you start though? Yeah,
So what I started with was this was going to be a summer project for me between freshman and sophomore years of college. I thought it would be
okay,
fun to try and figure out how to like code one because that is my um I guess day job. So I started with what well, I actually started from like the game function side. So I like started drawing up how I wanted the inside of my game to work. So like how I wanted the code to interact and um, how I wanted to represent different things in the world, like entities and this is a character, this is an enemy, this is the player, this is an NPC, that kind of thing. What
okay,
what does an item do? Um, so I got that figured out. I got my diagrams all drawn out for that. And then I was like, okay, great. I have all my building blocks. Now I need to build something. And then I couldn't decide what I wanted my game to be about. And then I gave
oh,
up.
okay.
So that's
So you know
that's
how to do all the parts that I wouldn't have known how to do.
yeah, that's the thing.
But
I
also,
needed a creative person.
sure, but I mean, also, I wouldn't have even known where to start in creating a concept for a game.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't think I'd be good at it.
if I started over, I would first say like, okay, what kind of game do I want to make? Do I want to make a
Right.
platformer? Do I want to make a farming sim? Do I want to make like a puzzle game, like Legend of Zelda style? And
Hmm.
I think that's what I wanted. I want to make like a Legend of Zelda style game where it's,
Okay.
and when I say that, I mean kind of like the older games where it's more of a platformer. Like, I think that the technical genre term is a dungeon crawler. There's so many rabbit holes you can get into. I'm probably even using that term
Dungeon
incorrectly,
crawler.
but
Do you consider yourself a dungeon crawler, Johnny?
uh, more a dungeon observer
Oh,
than a
okay.
crawler.
That sounds. Pause. Uh, we
Oh,
found out things about Johnny today.
stop!
The Shweegs enjoys the
No,
dungeon.
no Diddy, no Diddy. Oh man, but yeah, that's where
Just
I would start.
watching the dungeon. Just watching the dungeon. Nothing else. Anyway.
um,
All right, Janelle.
I've totally lost my train of thought.
Good.
Good, yeah.
You were talking about video games.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would want to make a like a puzzle story type game. And then I think if I was to try again, that's where I'd start. First, okay, what kind of game do I want to make? Then I would iron out the story and like it's the same thing as like remember, you ever take like a creative writing class? You have to like write a
no,
story. You have
no,
to they're
because I
like
was horrible at it.
yeah, I was also pretty bad at it.
Yeah.
But there are certain elements that every good story has, right? Like, there has to be a conflict. There has to be like an apex. There has to be all of these different things. You
Yeah,
need a good
protagonist.
setting, protagonist, antagonist, all that stuff.
The pathos, the ethos, and whatever the third one is.
Yeah, logos.
Logos, yes. I don't remember what they mean, but I remember the words.
Yeah, I think those
Thanks,
are
Mr.
more for.
Druid.
I think those are for more of like an argumentative essay. But
Oh, well,
anyways,
I was good at those.
yeah, there you
Uh,
go.
no,
Yeah, I
I
would start with
remember.
that. I'd get the setting and the story and figure out what you got to figure out what the point is, right? Like what is the
Yeah.
story that you want your game to follow? Or if it's not a story, you know, what's the thing you want to make?
Hmm.
So is it like, "Oh, I love this first person shooter, but I hate how this particular game does it. So I'm going to take the base of this game and change some things to make it something different, you know?" I think that's how a lot of things get made.
Yeah. So, okay, a question about like I guess the world of video games. I don't know if that concerns you much or not.
I mean, I'll try.
Yeah. So, do you figure the world of video games is as saturated as any other medium of entertainment in terms of how many games there are out there? Are there as many games out there as there are sitcoms that are trying to get on
Honestly, I'd
TV
say
or like
yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it there it oh I just short circuited there. For the sake of this conversation, I'm going to say for PC, absolutely. And
Got
I don't see it as like a negative connotation, right? Because I think in
well,
other
sure.
forms of media, you can look at saturation as a form of kind of dumbing down everything.
Oh
And
yeah,
it
it's not
hasn't.
how I meant it. I mean,
Okay.
in terms of the market itself, is it oversaturated? Like, honestly, most markets are. That's the hard part
Yeah.
about what we're doing about podcasts.
Yeah.
There's a million of them, and
Yeah.
thank you if you do listen to this one. We
We
appreciate
really
all of
appreciate
you.
you.
But yeah, it's so strange to figure out in each form of, I guess, art, not just entertainment, because all entertainment is a form of art in some
Right.
way, I guess.
Right.
If you want to look at it that way,
Hmm.
I don't know. That's a whole concept that we could go into, but I feel like there have been episodes where we go into that. Uh, I don't know. What do you think? Should we or no?
Uh, yeah, let's get into it briefly.
All right.
I'll close
Oh,
out this half.
okay, cool. Oh, I don't know if I how brief. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking about because so there's a Anthony Bourdain. You know who Anthony Bourdain is?
I know the name.
Okay, he's a chef, or he was a chef when he
Right.
was
Yes.
alive.
Yes. That's
Um, and because I cook for a living, I've found myself on various Facebook groups and things. So you see quotes from like old, well-known chefs, and he was talking about the cook is a not a tailor. What's the word? A craftsman. While a chef is an artist. Does that
yeah.
make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. The chef is the one who comes up with the dish and makes everything perfect, but the cook
Right.
is the one who has to execute it over and over and over and over again to perfection.
Exactly. Right.
So that's
Right.
the artist versus the producer.
Right. I feel like there's a lot of artistic mediums that do not separate those two jobs, and that makes them way harder to get into. Do you like we were just talking about video games?
Hmm.
Are the people that come up with the video games usually the ones that are developing it, or
So that now that actually, I'm really glad you said this because I was about to get into the two. There's two forms of video games, right? There's big production games. So this is your Call of Duty, your Red Dead Redemption, you know, anything that's made by a big name label, right?
okay?
That's going to be like your big market. There's a
Oh, that's
name
right.
for it. I don't know what it is, but like anything made by like Nintendo or not Nintendo because they're more of a console platform, and I think they actually outsource a lot of the. Well, I don't know if they still do, but I mean, if you think of like Pokemon, right? Pokemon was made by Game Freak,
Right.
licensed by Nintendo. I think Nintendo still does like pretty much anything involving Mario. I think they actually produce themselves, but
Okay.
even within that, right? I mean, it's you've got a team that does the story. You've got a team that does the art and the animation. You've got a team that does the back end, the coding, right? And then you take a game like, well, let's look at Minecraft. Minecraft started out as what is called an indie game, right? It's
Right.
independent. Same thing as indie bands, where it's
Right.
one or a small group of people that are interconnected, acting as one person,
Yep.
and
I've
they
learned
do
that what
everything.
that meant. I've learned what that meant recently. In like, because you grew up here, and it's indie music. I listen to indie music.
Yeah.
It'll just be like, that's not a genre. It's not. It's a form of production. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a
Right.
genre.
Right.
Like,
But the two, especially in music, I think the two terms have been conflated.
conflated. I don't know this word.
It might not be a real word. I might have
Oh
made it
no!
up. They've been kind of
I didn't mean
mashed.
to call you out.
No, it's good. They've been mashed together. So people like, oh, I like indie music, and people really mean I like folky acoustic music.
Okay. Sure. That's better though. That's actually like acoustic still is just a way to
It's
play it.
right,
But
but I mean that is it. It's more descriptive than indie, right? I mean, because
right. Indie just means you made it yourself.
mm-hmm.
Like Chance the Rapper is technically an indie rapper or was an indie rapper. No,
Right.
because he still doesn't have a label, right?
I don't know,
I mean, why would you start if you produced several albums by yourself? I don't know.
money.
That's true. He got enough money though.
But anyway, that's what happened
Yeah.
to Minecraft. Is they started as a small team, but then grew and grew and grew, and then got eventually bought by Microsoft.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
maybe they. I actually don't know the history of Mojang. That's the game studio that invented Minecraft,
Oh, okay.
and then bought by Microsoft. Um, I do have to give a shout out to one of my favorite indie games, Stardew Valley.
Okay. What are you doing that?
Well, Stardew Valley is basically it's what I would call a farming sim. So basically, the premise is your character inherited this farm from your grandfather, and it's in this super super tiny town called Pelican Town in Stardew Valley. So you just run your farm, and you interact with the townspeople, and you just live a happy life. It's similar to like Animal Crossing and Harvest Moon and those types of games.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But
There's
yeah,
a lot of those games out there.
yeah. But I mean, Stardew Valley is great because you can. There's farming, there's like mining, there's mines, and you can fight monsters and stuff. And then there's of course the TaskRabbit stuff if you want to go and procure items for your townspeople, and then you can grow your friendships and relationships with them, and it's pretty cool. So,
Nice.
but yeah, that's all. That game is entirely made by one guy, which
Okay.
is really impressive. It's
That's a
it's
lot.
yeah,
You would
and
think that those are definitely the team built games.
yeah, but I mean, and it's another reason why I love it so much is because he interacts with the community. So
Okay.
he'll take feedback, and in the newest update, I think there's some stuff in there that was even suggested by the community, which is super super cool to see.
Nice. Love
So-
when not influencers, but content creators listen to their actual audience.
Right? Yeah, and it makes it a better product for everyone involved. So yeah, shout out Stardew Valley, one of my favorite games. I've definitely found myself kind of gravitating more towards those games recently.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really had a ton of time to play video games at all. Like, I remember
Sure.
being a kid, and when I say kid, I mean like in my high school years, thinking, nah, I should work hard in school right now. Then I'll have plenty of time to play video games in college. Got to college, I'll have plenty of time to play video games when I'm a grown up, and And when I come home from my 9 to 5, and now here I am thinking, when am I gonna have time to play this?
I don't know.
And it's like you look at those skill based games like your Call of Duty and your Madden, your MLB
Yeah.
The Show games, or it's like you have to grind to get good. It's like I don't have time for that, man.
Yep. I came to that realization in high school, and then I stopped playing. Well, because my brother was way more into them than I was at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if he still plays any of them. He probably does, but yeah, I went to college, and it wasn't really a question of if the console was coming with me or not. It was not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I played once in a while with my roommate Spencer, because he had an Xbox, but he beat me every time.
Yeah.
I didn't get any better. It was not that fun. So I
Yeah.
like eventually you want to win, and yeah, when you're playing NBA 2K and getting beat by the computer on easy mode, I'm not ashamed, really.
Yeah,
Like,
man. I used to be so good at Madden, and then recently I like tried to play one of the newer games, and I'm like, this is not the same game that I played when I was 8.
oh,
It's like it's so much like real life now. You can't just
oh, yeah.
spam the same 4 plays. You
Right, yeah,
actually, if you want to win, you actually have to like learn the
know how
game,
to, yeah,
which
you
is
have to know
cool.
how to
And
read the defense and
yeah,
stuff.
and I mean, like, it's awesome that it's getting more realistic and it's getting more people like, I guess, having a higher knowledge of how football works. But
True.
man, I can't just pick up a controller and play. It's like,
Yeah. Well, and that's why the Nintendo games are so good, because it's literally jump, move, and like
hmm
that's all you need to know. And
Mario Kart
Mario Kart,
controls haven't
yeah.
they haven't changed.
Turn,
It's the only
turn,
game I'm still
press
good at is
Wii,
Mario Kart.
turn. Have you ever played Mario Kart on the Wii? It sucks.
Oh, see,
Like,
I would always turn off the motion control.
I mean, that's the fun part though about having a Wii is you can pretend that you're driving as a child, you know. But
Yeah.
all those children that wish they could drive, um, don't they? I don't know. I always did. Anyway, uh, video games. I don't play them.
Vidya. I
Yeah,
try. I am like adjacent to the community. I want to play, but I just don't have the time,
yeah.
and I'm not good at them.
I don't know. Like, I feel like they're in a way like books.
Mm-hmm.
Starting a new series is really hard because you have no idea which one you're gonna like.
Yeah,
Just
that
like
too.
starting a
Like,
new like story-based video game.
yeah,
Like you don't know how much time to devote, and you're already spending what 70 to $120
yeah.
on one
These
game.
games are getting so ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
so
Well,
expensive.
even when we were like teenagers, it was like 60, $70 for a game. But anyway, like lucky for kids now. Well, I don't know about lucky. It was really fun to go to the GameStop and see what games are there, and
Mm-hmm.
it's all behind glass. And there's the one game on the end that you've never heard of that is up on the TV, and you can play it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, when they had
anyway,
those consoles like set up at Walmart, and you can go and
yeah,
you sit there, and the monitor's all the way at the top, so you're sitting there with your head cranked fully back, looking at the
yeah,
monitor, trying to play.
exactly. Hey, Mom,
Kids,
I really want this game. She's like, you have an Xbox that's a PlayStation. I was like, well, can I get a PlayStation now? No. Uh,
yeah. That's
my
the
dad.
that's the thing about PC games too. Is this is what I wanted to kind of m- make a quick note of before we wrap up this
Sure.
conversation. I think PC gaming is a lot more conducive to indie games because it's a lot easier to publish on a PC platform as
Okay.
opposed to if you want to get your stuff published to a console. Um, there's way more rigorous process involved of getting it produced and published and all of that stuff.
Hmm. That makes some sense. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like so many people have laptops
Mm-hmm.
unless they are already gamers. so it's like hard to break into PC gaming unless you have a few $100 to spend on building a computer or something.
Yeah, I mean,
Like if I was gonna start, I would want it to be good, and I would want to know what I'm actually buying. And
yeah, I will say
yeah,
building a PC is super fun. I did it in high school. That's actually the one I'm recording this on right now. And I have
wow,
not. I have my intention at the time was to continually update and get new pieces and get more better pieces when I had more money. And of course, that never happened. Um,
yeah,
it's
life kind of gets in the way of that
yeah, yeah,
sometimes.
and especially like PC prices are outrageous. Like a good PC to game on is going to be like $2,000 minimum.
Mm-mm.
Because
Nope.
and that's the thing is these games nowadays are so resource intensive instead of being optimized.
Right. Yeah. Even Fortnite, like
Yeah.
the amount of stuff you can buy just for that is ridiculous. I think Roblox is even worse, like because they have what Robux or something
Yeah. Now we're
that
now we're getting to a
create
whole nother
months.
can of worms, but
Yeah, let's not
yeah.
say we didn't.
All right. That'll pretty much wrap it up for this first half. We're gonna take 5 and be right back at you. Welcome back. We just took 5.
That
What else we got to talk about?
Music, we gotta do the Music a little bit.
Yeah.
So I know of 3 albums that just came out.
Yeah. All right. Where do you want to start? Where do you want to
Let's
start? Kendrick?
So yeah, that'll be fun. I've listened to 2 songs, but the first song I was blown away by because I was like, "Oh, this will be a skit, right?" Nope. The hardest song I've heard come out in a little bit, and then another song right after that that is been released for a little while now,
Mm-hmm.
but is very good. I always confused that one with Not Like Us,
Yeah.
but it's not the same.
No.
But I'm glad he did a song that wasn't a diss track with this the same style beat,
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
that was nice.
I was very impressed by the album. I've only listened to it once.
Okay.
What I've wanted to do is I want to listen to it while reading the lyrics.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
gotten a chance to do that yet, but that's what I really want to do. But I mean, with first listen, incredible. Kendrick has proved time and time again why he's the number one.
Yep. I do still wonder. I'll see when Drake drops his next album, and then I'll be convinced of it. But if the whole beef was just to make their next 2 albums that much more popular,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be a little weirded out. Because if so, yeah, we'll see when Drake releases his next thing.
yeah. Another one, Chromacopia.
Which
Tyler the
is
Creator.
Oh, that's right. I have not even a little bit. No, no, no. I saw. So what Sticky? I know I heard Sticky
Mm-hmm.
several times because a lot of HBCU marching bands
Have been playing it. Yeah,
have been playing it, and he commented on one of them and was like, "This is why I wrote that song. Thank you so much." And I was
yeah.
like,
Was that Southern
Yeah,
University?
I think Southern. Yeah,
Gosh, they're awesome.
yeah. I'll just say, just go look up HBCU marching band on YouTube, and I don't know.
Southern University Human Jukebox. That's all you need to know. You'll be entertained for the next 3 hours.
I don't know about that, but
That's
okay.
just that's what they. It's like.
Oh, it's like a channel that.
Well, yeah. It's. I think the name of their. They like to like they call the band the Human Jukebox.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the Human Jukebox is the name of the marching band.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Never heard of marching bands having names outside of well,
the Spartan Marching Band.
no, like that's what I mean. It's like it's named after the mascot of the school, but like
Yeah. Well,
Oh no,
Purdue is
never
the
mind.
All-American
Scratch
marching
that.
band. Yeah, now
Let,
you're starting
let
to
me
think
shut
and
up. Let
realizing
me shut up. Let me
it.
shut up. So yeah, Tyler. I'm assuming you've listened to him because you like him a lot.
Tyler gets like pretty vulnerable and emotional on it, which is, I think, if you've been paying attention, it makes sense. It tracks.
Yeah.
Um,
Is it on the rap side or the not?
it's on the rap side for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Because Igor was the one we reviewed.
Yes,
Uh,
Igor is fusion, rap,
right.
hip hop,
Okay.
rap, pop, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. So that's this album is not that.
Well,
You know.
it's similar. It's just unique. You just got to listen to it. That's all I can really say. I
Okay.
still have
That's
to
fair.
listen through reading the lyrics as well, but I've listened through it a few more times. Um,
Yeah.
it has been out for a while. Definitely recommend.
Gotcha. Another one, Ice Cube.
I was
Has
not
his,
aware of this.
yes, his album Man Down,
Hmm.
and I don't know. It was good. I don't know that I can just definitively say it was his best because I am not that familiar with a ton of his music, but I do know that it's much more respected than his acting in movies. So, yeah, no, I listened to it all the way through, just over an hour. It didn't really feel like an hour. I folded my laundry to it.
There you go.
But yeah, it definitely not a get up and dance type of thing. But I don't think his music really ever was that. So
No.
yeah, definitely a vibe. And then who else? Linkin Park.
Yeah, I did listen to this through one time.
Yep.
I still don't know how I feel. I mean, I've never been a huge like Linkin Park fanboy. I've
Mm.
always enjoyed their music. It's really tough, I think, for a band to go so long, especially when something like your lead singer passing away and then
Oh yeah.
coming back with a new lead singer. And I think in the case of Linkin Park, it's really difficult to say whether they should have retired as Linkin Park and started just a new band with a new singer. I'm seeing a lot of fanboys who are like, that's what they should have done because this is not Linkin Park. It's like, what's the ship of Theseus or ship of Perseus, whatever, where it's like if you have a big boat, a ship, and you slowly replace each and every component over time such that all old components have been replaced with a new component over time, is it the same ship? It's like one of those
Oh.
philosophical debate questions.
Okay. I mean, like, I don't know what makes a thing itself. You know, that's the question. That's
Mm-hmm.
the bare bones of it, I guess. But I don't know. Like, I don't have the time to think about
Yeah,
that.
well, and it's with something like this too. I mean, I can see both sides of it. If you've been with this band that is so unique with the sound,
Yeah.
and then you go on indefinite hiatus and then come back, and it's not exactly the same. And in fact, one of the arguments is that like a lot of people were saying like with no Chester, there's no Linkin Park. That's what they say. And I mean, I'm of the opinion where I'm not super deep into that. So it's like, if everyone else is the same, it's still Linkin Park to me. And I mean,
Sure.
one of my favorite bands, Real Friends, they have changed singers. You know, I mean, it's not something that's uncommon.
Yeah. Queen.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you gonna do? Like
Van Halen,
Van
like
Halen?
you could
Yeah.
we could go on for hours here. Yeah, that being said, I mean, their new album was, in my opinion, okay. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think nothing will ever bring back the feeling of hearing Meteora for the first time.
Hmm. I think the thing that people have to realize is you can't just come out with new stuff after the lead singer passed, Chester passed,
Mm-hmm.
and blow them out of the water with the first album without him.
Yeah.
That wouldn't honor his memory very well. But Also,
Yeah.
just saying F this, all the guys that were with him and playing with him, we're not gonna do that anymore. We're gonna go somewhere else. But we're gonna still play the same type of music.
Yeah.
That
It's
doesn't make sense either.
no.
Like you already have the name. Everyone else pretty much is still there, still
Hmm.
doing the same thing that they were. It's just adding a different sound with this new singer, which
Yeah.
I want to know the name of.
Emily Armstrong.
Emily Armstrong. Uh, I thought she sounded really good.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Her screams were
Pretty good.
freaking
Pretty
blood
good.
curdling,
Yeah.
man. Like I wasn't listening with headphones, but I know if I was, that I would be shivering.
Yeah.
With a few of them. The song that I added to my liked songs was "Heavy Is the Crown." I think it's the first song that she does any screaming on. I enjoyed the whole thing. I
Yeah.
respect it as their new sound
Hmm.
without still believing that Chester was the iconic thing
Yeah.
that made them what they were.
Yeah. I will say that the first time I think on the like their official announcement or whatever, they played Numb. And that
See, that's
that
that's
was not a
tasteful
smart
right
move,
there.
I think,
No, no,
because you're looking someone like me, right, who's not a like Linkin Park super fan, but I mean I know that song inside and out. Who doesn't?
yeah,
And then if that's the first thing you're hearing, it's just not a good comparison.
no,
Like
no.
it almost kind of spoiled it for me, because if I had heard some of these like Emily original songs first, then I'll be like, okay, it's this new sound. It's not exactly the same. I mean, it can't be exactly the same, but you know what I
Right.
mean. We're starting to move a new direction. Now let's take your most famous song, and it just sounds like a cover, and it's a bizarre circumstance, and
Yeah.
and feeling.
Well, and you think about you mentioned Van Halen before.
1974 to 1985, Van Halen was Eddie Van Halen, Alex Van Halen, and David Lee Roth, Michael Anthony. Then went from David Lee Roth to Sammy Hagar.
Okay. Yeah, and obviously they would have opinions out there even now about who was better.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But imagine if none of the music came out afterwards. Would they still be as popular? I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's really tough to say.
Yeah. So let me put this right in your lap, though. God forbid something happens to Billy Joe Armstrong, and they, I mean, they're already kind of old. Going on another tour would be questionable. But I mean, with how old like Ozzy and Metallica is still touring, like there's lots of bands that get super old.
Yeah,
I
Iron
mean,
Maiden.
we
I
already
just saw
mentioned
Iron Maiden. I mean,
Yeah,
those guys were like you saw them on stage. You're like, holy smokes! I mean, they're moving impressively well
yeah.
for living a rock and roll lifestyle for so
Mhm.
long. But yeah, again,
So, yeah.
anyway, continue.
I'm sure like Green Day will probably keep doing their thing for a long time from now. You
Yeah,
never know what happens. If something did happen and they took on a new singer, how would you feel?
I don't know. I don't
That
know.
is a big what if. I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah. Well, and I think it's tough too, right? Because I mean, I'll have to look at the dates, but I mean, Green Day's been around for 30 years.
Around there, yeah.
Um,
Maybe more.
I want to see. I need to see how long it was. Um, let's see. So Chester passed in 2017, and Lincoln Park formed in 1996. So 20 years. Then they took a 6-year break. See, I think 30 years is kind of the cutoff But I mean, 20 years. I mean, Linkin Park was around for 20 years.
Right.
So I don't know. You know what? I think I would just have to see how it goes and
Hope for the best.
hope for the best. Yeah, that's really all I can say. I mean,
So
because
would you? This is something I've heard people talk about with Queen, because like Freddie Mercury was an iconic personality and just person at the time, and now it's Adam Lambert. He kind of came up with American Idol. That was like the springboard for him, but like he still done a lot of weird stuff like Freddie Mercury did, and now he's singing for Queen. You have to wonder what their diehard fans think of him.
yeah,
Because I'm sure there's certain things that they don't want to do out of tradition's sake without Freddie. But that's funny. We're talking about two different Freddies on the same podcast. But anyway,
yeah. I mean, part of me would just kind of want them to retire and leave it perfect as it is in my head.
right.
I mean, because the only thing I can think of, right, is, and this is a bad comparison because we're at this, and you'll understand in a second when I say who it is, an artist who's a singular artist as opposed to a band, whereas a band is comprised of members, but an artist is mostly just the individual. Mac Miller.
Yeah, just the artist.
Mac Miller is Mac Miller, so when he passed, that's it. No more Mac Miller. I mean, of course, they had a few records that have come out posthumously, but a lot of those were things that were, I think, done but just never released yet.
Yeah.
So, hey, maybe that would happen if in this fake scenario where Billy Joe Armstrong passes away suddenly. Maybe Green Day has something, already recorded, just not released yet.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past them. I'm
No,
sure
I mean, they just came out with the whole Saviors album, so I'm sure there's a plethora of songs that they recorded and just decided not to put on the album.
Yeah.
Maybe they have plans for a deluxe version.
Similar to American Idiot 2.
Yeah. I am still super high on Blue Hour from Real Friends. It's honestly been getting me through this difficult time. So can't recommend that enough. I just saw State Champs. They are on tour.
Oh, nice.
They're on tour right now with Knuckle Puck, Meet Me at the Altar, and Daisy Grenade. That was a super fun show.
Yeah.
It was not super fun driving back from Denver afterwards, but that's on a Tuesday. That's the price you pay. But yeah, it was a really fun show. They played for like an hour and a half just straight. They barely took any breaks. It was so impressive. State Champs is very, they're like skate punk, so it's very high energy. They had I guess one kind of little ballad slow part of the concert, but yeah, that was incredible. I mean, I love Knuckle Puck, so it's always great to see them live. Meet Me at the Altar, they're super fun. One of Janelle's favorite bands right now. So, yeah. State Champs just came out with they just came out with a new album called State Champs.
Okay.
So, self-titled, check it out. It's pretty cool.
Those are usually good, right? The self-titled ones?
Yeah.
Well, not the Black album from Metallica. But anyway, damn, how many times am I gonna say that? But anyway,
but
you ever watch How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah.
You remember that? Okay, yeah.
You want to talk about a bad ending to a TV show?
Sure. Yeah, that one.
That one.
Yeah. How I Met Your Mother, probably the only show that I've heard pretty consistently that no one liked the ending.
It was terrible.
Because they had two, right? Did you ever see the other one?
No.
No? Oh,
I was not aware of this.
Yeah, no, there's...
Well, go ahead, lay it on me. I'm not gonna I'm
Well,
not.
yeah, to be
I'm not
honest, I
gonna
don't
go through
remember
it.
it. I don't remember it. Once I finished that show, I never watched it again. Really, once in a while, if it's on TV at 2 in the morning and I have nothing else to watch, then I'll put it on. But I don't know. It's a good show. You get attached to their characters well enough.
Hmm.
It's not that funny to
I
me.
don't know. I think it's kind of funny.
There were times when it's funny. The situation, I guess, that they find themselves in is funny, but it's not gonna have me rolling on the floor laughing.
Right.
For most episodes,
Yeah.
there's certain uh, sitcoms where I do get to that point, or at least I did when I hadn't seen the episodes a million times.
Yeah.
Specifically talking about Seinfeld because I watched it way too much.
Yeah.
That's when I fall asleep too almost every night.
But no, I now Seinfeld's ending I thought was hilarious.
Oh, it's perfect! Like one of the most perfect finales. I
Yeah.
think.
Like because it was so stupid. But it was perfect though because it was
Yeah.
how stupid the show was.
Pretty much. How long ago did it end? Probably like 98 or something.
Probably.
I think that spoilers are okay at this point.
Yeah.
So what happens at the end is they go to jail
Yeah.
because they're awful people, and all the people that they were awful to were called into their court hearing because they were making fun of a guy that was held up at gunpoint.
Oh
And
yeah.
the
So
Good Samaritan law had just become a thing in the state that they were in. So yeah, they went to jail for a year, and they're on the way to the cell, and they're going like, oh, this won't be so bad. We'll be out in a year. It'll be fine. It's like, yeah, just go to jail. Seinfeld, to me, is just it was always pushing the boundary of what socially correct behavior is supposed to be, and yeah, just pushing that envelope as hard as it could in situations that always have understandings from society that no one really has to do, but they do it anyway. Like the perfect example to me was the airport episode when like they're getting their bags put under the plane, and you're supposed to tip the guy that does that for you. And they're like, "Well, what do we tip him?" And they were like, "I don't know. Let's ask him." And they ask, and he's like, "Usually I get $5 a bag." And they're like, "What?" So Jerry gives it to him, and Elaine is like, "You're lucky I don't report you."
yeah, then he sends her back to Hawaii, right?
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you can be an asshole if you want, like Elaine, and say what you're feeling, but then you don't have a bag when you get to
Yeah, you might
you're
suffer the
going.
consequences.
Yeah. And yeah, the finale was just that. It was they finally suffered all of the consequences of things like ruining people's businesses because they made suggestions that were poor.
Yeah, that one was always such a heartbreaker.
Yes, they're very, very bad men.
Very bad men.
Yeah. Or you are gifted an armoire and all the soup recipes for this guy's soup stand are in there and you publish them. It's not very nice.
That really made me mad.
Yeah, well,
That
'cause
one made
honestly,
that one made me mad.
I'm surprised he didn't try and that wasn't part of the story that he went and tried to sue her for the rights to it because copyright is a thing. The fact that he wrote them and could probably prove that he did would have been enough.
Right,
But-
and especially too, like if you take it to court, you don't necessarily, you just have to you got to convince a jury.
Right. Or just the judge. Either way.
Yeah.
Like. Anyway, that's
Theoretical.
a lot of logic from a sitcom. So
Yeah.
Anyway. I love like I don't know about you. I love doing this show because it's just like it's a relaxing thing that I don't have to do anything but catch up with a friend. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
we don't need a beer. We're not drinking today.
Not today.
Surprise. Not on the BYO Beats podcast for 60 minutes with the boys. We don't have to drink. We're not alcoholics. If you think we are, well, that's a fair assessment because you only know us from the show.
Yeah. I don't really have anything else for today.
Nah.
No. Other than I'll leave you with some words from Pitbull. If you're going through hard times, I've been there, done that.
Believe me.
Believe
Done.
Believe me.
Believe it,
man. Yeah. If you're going through a tough time, it'll get better. You just gotta
believe it.
Believe it. Keep running the ball. Keep running the ball.
Yes. Run, Forrest, run.
That'll be it for today.
It's not your fault. How many quotes can we come up with? Even when I tell the truth, I lie. Or, no, that's not it. Even when I lie, I tell the truth.
I don't know that one.
You don't know? It's from Scarface. It's like,
I've never actually seen that movie.
Sir,
I need to see it. I
no.
know. I'm so bad about seeing movies.
I will give you a login to whatever platform I have and you don't. So,
all right.
Just use that ExpressVPN thing. Not sponsored yet.
Yet.
Hey, that's an easy one to get. But anyway, no, it's probably not because I think like Uncle Roger does it. And anyway, love Uncle Roger. I'll get us out of here. I'm talking and babbling. For you.
I hate you, Jamie Oliver.
Jamie Oliver is so bad. Hi. Anyway. Should I try to sign off as Uncle Roger?
No, don't do that.
Niece and nephew. No, I'm not Asian. It doesn't. You can't do that. All right. Thank you for listening, beer listeners and song drinkers. This has been 60 Minutes with the Boys, episode 3.
Yeah, or Power Hour, maybe.
Yes, Power Hour, maybe.
I don't know.
Time.
I still don't. I don't
know. It's not that fun. Thank you for listening, and remember, musicians are people too, especially with more beer.